This is your timeless, the love variant reading. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. These messages may resonate more if Aries is found in your sun, rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you're here on the idea of your Aries being your moon, being in your moon placement, you may be seeking emotional redemption that this reading may not provide. Just something small to consider as you may listen out to the rest of the reading. With that being said, please check out the description box below if any of that interests you to what you may be in search of. Please know that anything can come up in this love variant reading, whether it's about single, partners, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, marriage, divorce, whatever wants to come up will come up. All right. All right, so as always, past, present, and future energetical timelines could come forth within a reading, so use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and to leave the rest behind. All right, Aries, we're going to go right into the reading. Someone's questioning whether or not they're losing control, and I think this is actually a very wise thing to question about yourself, because this is a great time for you to train your psyche that you can trust this new narrative of lessening your fear on something. This is coming from a fear-based narrative, but you are also addressing this fear, so it's wonderful. See if I'm taking this. No, all right, the thief, seizing the moment, selfishness, the dancer, self-expression, strength. Yeah, someone has had a hard life. All right, but they should turn into gold. The queen, determination, sacrifice. Yep, and the sleeper, cause and effect and clarity. It doesn't mean, however, that this person who turns shit into gold has had a chance to optimally heal. For that, it's almost clear that this person may suffer from anxiety issues, anxiousness, sleepless nights, restless leg syndrome, nightmares, all right, inabilities to stay sleeping, and maybe also remembering dreams a bit too much. It's like you're not understanding what needs to be understood with all the things that you're remembering via your dreams. Some of you want to practice psychedelic means of tapping into this awareness. This may be with a guidance of help, and someone who can watch over you might be a smart thing for you to think about doing. Obviously, this should be not of a tender age, okay? I'm seeing someone being bound here, all right? So I'm seeing someone negatively bound in a relationship that they can't get out of. All right, they feel like they can't get out of it. So I don't know if this is your doing, Aries. I do feel it's a bit more dominant energy, which is your sign. Your sign is very dominant energy. I feel like you are emotionally dancing around and not being able to call off and a relationship. All right, you are desiring to be a queen of this aspect, but are almost lacking the ability to remember that you also came from a battlefield, and you have the ability to have a certain kill count by the actions that you've done, and it's almost the reason why you are bounded emotionally to this type of relationship that you can't get out of. It's very karmic, this relationship. This is if you leave me, I don't know what to do here. Self-talk, that's also self-talk that's negative within the mind for such negative thoughts to come attack a person. It's a very chaotic Queen of Swords energy. So when this energy is untamed, unruly, then this energy can be very problematic for everything that you consider loving, all right? This is a lot of Lilith energy coming through here as well. So just be mindful of the fact that if you are someone who's very astute to your own awareness, Lilith energy might be sharing the ether of where it is that you realm and make things more confusing for you. Maybe also to test the limits of where you feel bounded by this shadow, so that you can break free, but not free from it, because it will always be around, but more so learn how to find a form of justice with that energy. And being able to find ways to structure this type of drama to occur in your life, this being, this outside source of energy, these voices to be tamed in yourself, so that way you have a more better handle at life. Someone's dancing here, the same energy of, you know, having had a kill count based on the things that you've done. Aries, there's a lack of disciplining your actions and taking accountability for the things that you've done. And that's what's more or less haunting you, because you know something's missing and you are afraid of hearing the words that you probably could make up for yourself if you were just to utter it. But I think that would be the best form of medication for you, is to utter words that are hard for you to hear yourself say. Because if you can say things that are, in quote-unquote layman's terms, blasphemous, then you can also say the truth of your behavior and it having no value or weight to all the other bullshit that comes out of your mouth. All right. You don't want Virgo energy to come through this reading, Aries. I know, you don't. There's a lot of secret hatred that a lot of Aries may share to Virgo energy, especially if there's a certain person within their life or growing up that was a Virgo energy that played a prominent role here, because their Virgo's analytical tactic of secrecy really seeped into your guilty consciousness, Aries, and it has ruined your sense of confidence. It's a very specific message, so it's not necessarily for every single one, right? There's an absolute beauty, a stunning beauty, though, to be aware of problems and being able to change them, which is a very interesting push and pull of dynamic of Virgo and Aries energy. Virgo is nitpicky of finding themselves into the details and also the analytical processes as to why that needs to be there, or why it's running, and all that justice aspect of it, while the Aries energy brings the Virgo out of its shell to be able to be as beautiful of a Virgo essence that Virgo energy is, because Aries feels that innately in their soul. But because Aries energy is very disciplinarian, it ruins almost the fragility of the vulnerability that Virgo energy needs to keep being as vivacious as he or she it is. Because to be quote-unquote sensitive is just to be able to have a pure form of acceptance to the energies that are happening at all moments of time. And that can be a bit problematic for Aries energy. All right, but it's a dynamic that is very paying attention to the details to see how it could work. Okay, that kind of energy. So whatever it lays into family, work, it really allows itself to work together in the best way, in favor for everyone, if all involved are in favor for that change to occur. The Ten of Wands here. All right, so I mean, like I mentioned already, the ether is not too concerned if you're not being able to handle difficulty in life, because like I said, some of you are just like naturally catapulted to what I guess other people may say is a hard life, all right? But no life is necessarily easy in that aspect, all right? We all have our little niches, all our different own version of color perspectives we want to see and choose to see, and then also engage in. We all have an ego that we either have to protect, are ashamed of, or in equilibrium to, and that's all about trying to learn what social engagement is all about. With the Three of Pentacles, getting out there, having a bit of a shock effect value of not necessarily thinking that going out there to party is what going out there means. Going out there, but just going out there and trying to see life that you typically would have on a day-to-day basis, maybe from a different perspective. Going out there and seeing it from a different perspective, because the Star card here says then you don't have to look up into the sky to wonder whether or not anyone out there above, below, or in the visible world is here to help protect you. Who you do have is the pulse beating behind your chest, the brain ticking in your mind, and the gut-wrenching feeling that makes you feel excited to eat something, or maybe also the answer to maybe go to the bathroom. There are very many different engines that your body has within itself to make itself aware within you that you are of a quality, of an essence of eternity. Whether you see that to be a term that you agree with or not, it's not about achieving that. It's about achieving an understanding where chaos meets the mind, and chaos meeting the mind is a confusion of feelings, okay? And those feelings offer up the authenticity of having this journey of experience of a person, of a human person, but ultimately the galactic light of knowing of who you are, maybe also understanding the term Akashic Records, brings you home and knowing that you are the essence of the multiverse permeating here in real time. So wherever you have to understand in the dimension, get a groundedness, don't steal yourself the opportunity to understand that from a non-binary perspective. At the end of the day, you'd like chaos because it allows your adrenaline to be tapped in, a little bit of a rush, you know, and it allows you to almost like buck up and be the Aries energy that you are, a very, very loud energy. You have a loud presence, all right? Taking all your energy back within your body of knowing would become even louder, and that's the scary part for individuals around you. All right, somebody wants to trip on mushrooms here. I keep saying the damn mushroom. This is ridiculous. It's not a mushroom. It's the bottom of the cup here, but I'm still. It's like somebody wants to go out in space, seeing spaceships. All right. Anyway, so. Wanting to understand how important you are is to learn how humble you can be for yourself and others, showing up for people's emotional vulnerability, but also not being sucked into it. I'm getting not going into the opportunity and thinking that oh, this is your opportunity to come and fix and heal somebody. For that, a lot of you are misunderstanding your own energetical powers of healing, because you want to go into every broken situation and want to fix it, and then you're not understanding why you're carrying so much of the load, and you're not getting any rewards for that type of behavior. And the penalty is not that you're looking for rewards, because you're not asking for anything for this. What's happening is that you're not addressing the ability to heal yourself. For that little bit of attention going to someone else, you need to turn, if you can see if you can see the shut-off valve and turn that off, and see if you can feel a different change of energy within you or in the atmosphere, to kind of like reassess a trait or a skill within you that makes you feel alive, feel in touch with the soul, or overall with the flow of the universe, if you want to say it that way. Some of you are testing out different theologies to try to understand the makeup of the belief system of what the universe may want you to see with the Ace of Swords here. But understanding it's an individual approach here. Ace, 11, 11, 1, 1, okay? It's an individualistic approach. True tarot reader does not classify themselves in any type of religion. King of Swords. King of Swords comes in and makes sure that you understand that you are human, having the human experience, and that your awareness of your own Akashic light is to recognize the love potentiality. And that love potentiality, even if it was bruised within you from a long time ago, was a misguided message from an ancestral healing that has now been taken upon you to finally fix. It's going to be difficult, Aries, because the emotional factor where you feel very abundant has been bruised. So your memory in trying to understand what it means to have a loving, healthy relationship emotionally might be difficult for you to really actualize for yourself with choices, because you just have a different ego than maybe everyone else that has this understanding of emotional relationship. But it doesn't mean that you're broken just because you have something, a different viewpoint of it. It means use the devil to your advantage. Anything else in regards to that is what this reading will not provide. It's the emotional redemption that could be found in the other channel. Just keep that in mind, because she's not going to read more into that energy. Some of you are still afraid, which is, it makes sense. The world is convoluted with so many fucking narratives. It's ridiculous, right? So there's so many fears attached to that too, and the more attachment there are based on them, the bigger of a vortex they are. To be hard not to ignore that the dialogue is happening. But concerning yourself with the need of whether something exists or not defeats the purpose of you paying attention to yourself here, as you see that little five of cups here. Yeah, 7 of Swords, man. Can't say that fucking card. But the universe makes it very personal when the fucking 7 of Swords comes out, because there's an energy around you that keeps coming in and out of your life that it's hard for you to break away from this energy. But your ego is testing the limits of who you are, until you understand emotional availability and emotional vulnerability and emotional sustainability will never be reached, and not including the ego. The ego knows a bit too much about you and everything else, everybody else's bullshit, to not work out in your favor. So that's why it would make sense to pay attention to shadows of self, understand what they bring, and if emotional redemption is what you're looking for, then justice, true justice, has not been yet understood. Hence why the Seven of Swords comes in and fucks with your mind, figuring out why someone's stealing from you, whether actual tangible things or pieces of your awareness. A lot of lack of control of emotions deep down inside. Having to have repressed them over time and not being able to really look at your feelings and have a better understanding on how to have maybe quote unquote better thoughts about those thoughts that you're having, to understand the difference between positive mental wellness and negative mental wellness, or mental illness as they'd like to say, so that they can get you into the mental hospital. Like, your connection to ether is not through the mind, to the gut of who you are. To make sense of that gut of which it is that you came from is the engine that the brain allows you to try and remember. And then when you re-remember, it's such a place of longing and love and having found it and knowing you're returning to it because it's right there and accessible, that anything that comes is not a fear. It's just not. It's more so a disappointment that another person doesn't understand it. And so you understand that the further you go on with your life, the more those individuals naturally kind of dissipate. But it's those who keep coming back that maybe have a role of being a parent or some sort of matrix label onto themselves that confuses the narrative a bit more about what could really be done, right? That's how the universe is absolutely perfect to the T to make the scavenger hunt about what it is that you are. Such an intriguing ride. I hope it's not Virgo energy coming through. That's all I'm saying. Oh, shit. Alright. I said y'all don't want it to come through, and then, you know, you're getting the message clear. The Hermit energy. You want the wisdom, Virgo energy. You want to balance it, it's Virgo energy. You understand, you want to understand, you gotta there's nothing left to be said, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. There's absolutely nothing else that needs to be understood here. If you understand these last two cards, the Hermit and the Eight of Wands, then you understood the whole entire reading. I will pull these cards. Yeah, she don't really want me to. We're gonna do it. The devil. The devil in me has a rhythm that I've used these decks to close out the readings so far. So I won't let her stop me. Oh boy. Commit to desire, would you? Would you dance with the devil? That's why the ego took over, because what does the devil love? The devil loves what you desire. Come dance on the dark side of the moon, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, for that, y'all have to trust yourself to go over to the sister channel, but I see that channel isn't as profitable yet for people as this one. I wonder why. Because if you already put off by Virgo sun energy, y'all can handle the quote-unquote moon energy, right? But everyone just loves being tanned up by the sun or guided by the moonlight, forgetting where all that comes from. Transcribe through knowing. And now means now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all those in between and beyond, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.